We emerged back from the shadows for another week of what the fuck is that noise? Stop.
I've been gone for like a month. You
He has.
You guys kicked me out.
It's been 2 weeks.
You kicked me out.
We didn't tell you about last week.
No.
Yeah, it was last minute, actually. Yeah. I was like, oh, shit, we didn't tell Dan.
I texted you guys.
No, but the day of, right? Like,
I don't know.
We had those plans set for, like, since, like, the Monday. But we're like, oh, shit, Dan. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, welcome back, Dan. How's it feel? Did you miss us? Did you miss us?
I guess, sure. Yeah, I missed you. A little bit.
A little bit. I can't say the feeling is neutral.
It's not neutral?
No.
I think I avoided the plague, though, because you guys are both sick, and
I'm not sick anymore.
Ray got strep throat and gave it to me.
I did not. Just for the record, I did not give you strep throat.
You gave it to me.
I did not give you strep throat.
Okay, after last podcast, he forced open my throat and done spit in it, and he's a big boy. He can't hold it. I can't hold it.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
He forced spit in my throat.
I did not do that. Plus, I was past my contagious
period. That weird part of the internet.
I was past my contagious period. Maybe you caught it from the 1,000 people that you have to deal with a day that have disgusting germs.
Probably, but I'm going to blame on you. I blame people I see way more than anyone else.
Yeah?
He hadn't seen me for
Let's
like
get
a month,
this thing on the road. What are we talking about?
Okay, so we're talking about...
Just put marks on my shirt.
What are we talking
That's
about?
great. That makes me happy because it's a white shirt now. There's just a blue marker. Blue pen. That's a pen.
Whatever.
That is a pen.
Okay, we're talking about Jets shit.
Shit.
Fucking shit.
World Junior stuff.
World Junior stuff. You don't toot when you talk about that.
In the mailbag, we'll talk about a firing in the NHL, expansion talks, what Montreal broke yesterday besides...
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
I know exactly where you're going with it.
Holy shit, has it been 2 days already?
Look,
I cried! Okay?
You cried?
I cried!
Why?
Because
it was touching.
It's very touching. I don't care.
It was touching.
See, it's weird. I only cry about the weird, stupid stuff. I don't cry about, like... I don't care about John Beliveau. Like,
whoa!
Okay.
The nicest guy to play hockey
I care about him in terms of what he brought to the sport, but I was never allowed to
it was just touching, and it's nice to see that there's still some compassion in the world.
Who was that lady? Was that his wife?
That was his wife.
When you see a widow crying, doesn't that make you a little sad?
I watched TSN that night without volume, so I'm like, who's this lady? Who is this lady?
Wow.
Actually, yeah. That's
You're heartless.
Cam is heartless.
Yeah. Okay.
Sabres open to training a few guys.
Beautiful.
A little fact about the Canadian teams right now.
Okay.
Edmonton finally breaks their streak.
I have
a certain play. Wow, that was a nice voice track.
That was really
good. Hey, Puberty, welcome, Greg. Yeah.
Hey, doggy.
Hey, Greg, meet Puberty. Puberty, meet Greg.
Yes.
Suspension.
And
Keith Ballard's face destruction.
Facial oh, mama.
And last but certainly not least,
for a while.
Potentially one of the best quotes ever in an interview.
But
we'll all get to that later.
I also have an interesting article about the Boston Bruins.
Okay,
I will bring up.
What are we starting with?
We're starting with the Jets.
Jets. Are we going to Tarantino? How are we doing this, Greg? Go.
We're starting at the beginning.
Go, Greg.
No,
I'll follow the lead. I'm holding on.
We're starting with the Jets.
The historic Friday night game.
The Avs.
Right.
6-2.
It happened, you guys. You know what?
Did either of us call Little for the hat trick?
I don't care. I have a jersey of his. That's all that matters.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
No, I don't. I usually call weird ones.
I think you picked Wheeler. I think you were safely.
I would say, I just want to say...
Let's go back to the podcast and figure out who we called.
Because
I called Little.
I said Wheeler.
No, you didn't.
No,
I'm saying if I called Little.
No, I'm pretty sure...
I just want to say, I believe it was because of just me why this hat trick happened. Because first off, we all started the podcast, but it only happened once my heart left the Jets, more.
You didn't even believe me when I texted you.
No, seriously, I thought you were kidding. I was, yeah, and you're like, no, really, it happened. It happened.
I just remember I came out of the shower, and I'm like, oh, Brian Little scored. I'm like, oh, Brian Little scored again. Turn on the TV, and I'm like, that's a hat trick.
Ah! Were you there?
No.
No, you were there.
Yep,
Did you throw your hat?
No.
Did you have a hat?
Because I had that stupid netting thing in front of me, so I probably made it.
Yeah. See,
that's when I'm like, okay, if I'm in the upper deck, what do I do? Do I just
People
be like, hey, guy, down there, catch this hat and throw it
catch it. Please don't keep it.
People around me were trying, and they were getting, halfway down to the
Hey, buddy!
Try your best just to frisbee it over.
Yeah, no.
So what was the score in that game?
6-2.
Fun fact.
Jets, actually, when it was either 5, I think it was 5-2 at this point, but... There was a huge fight, whatever. So the Jets ended up being down 2 men. There's about 15 minutes left.
All right.
Patrick Waugh pulled his goalie, So it was 6-on-3 for like 2 minutes.
Patrick was real weird. He's done that before with like 8 minutes left.
And then and then Bufflin broke his stick, had to go to the bench, so it was 6-on-2.
Okay.
And the Jets killed the whole thing off. I've never seen that before. That was pretty awesome.
To kill off a 6-on-3, I can't say I've ever seen that.
For like 2 minutes.
Well, fun fact about. Do you have any fun
cool.
facts about hat trick?
No, I don't. I'm just playing a freemium game right now.
Oh, okay, don't worry.
Good for you.
I'm
Last-
checked out.
Last Jets Hattie was Eric Bolton versus the Devils on December 19th, 2010 in a 7-1 win. And
Who did they play that night?
the Devils.
New Jersey.
Oh, I did not hear that.
Marty
And-
Brodeur played like shit. I watched the
And
game.
a key note to that, oh my God, full circle. Marty Brodeur had to be in the league for the Jets to get a Hattie.
He had to get traded.
But also, Thorburn scored in the game against the Avs. Thorburn that evening had a pair of assists and a goal. Last time a player wearing a Winnipeg Jets jersey scored a hat-trick in Winnipeg, Timo Solani, December 15th, 1995, against the Oilers. We were 4. We were 4 years old, guys.
Yep.
We were 4. Okay.
It's not going to happen for another 4 years
Adam
now.
Lowry was 2, and Brian Little was 8 when that happened. And they up until then, I don't know who now is the current
What do you
holder,
do with your
but they
life?
had the longest current streak of
This.
games played without a Hattie in the NHL, and days it reached 1,448 days. Sweet God, that's a
Crazy.
long
Pretty
time.
intense.
It was pretty
That's a lot.
awesome to be there, though. That was the loudest it's been.
I heard the
Since
bench
ever.
erupted
Ever.
when
Oh,
he
yeah.
got his hat trick.
It-
I didn't even see the highlights.
That was the loudest the building's been.
It wasn't a good goal. We'll just put it that way.
The
It
puck
was
kind of came out in front and he roofed it, and no one knew it went in because it went like in the top of the net.
Oh,
And
it came
right
back out.
just a garbage goal.
And he had scored like 30 seconds earlier.
Yeah.
So he scored like 2 goals. The other goal was nice, but we should. I don't know if we should point out, but I think Blake Wheeler deserves credit for the hat trick because he assisted all 3 goals.
Good for him.
So he
Well,
gets
probably.
like a
Co-hat trick. He'll get
Co-Hattie.
one day.
No.
Adam Lowry almost
We're-
got one the next day.
It's just,
Or
well,
couple-
no.
2 games later.
Jets played the Ducks, lost in overtime.
They played so good though.
Against the Ducks?
They played
I didn't
awesome.
watch the game.
Lost in
I didn't watch
overtime.
Yeah, but
Oh, so they
I
got
have
a
a
point.
busy life. I don't know why.
okay. Well, I watched it, and the Jets probably were the better team.
So they lost 4-3. Kane, 5 in a
overtime.
game for a hit on Clayton Stoner. I
I've
saw that
gone
hit.
back and forth on this.
I saw that hit. He got
2
suspended.
game
for-
suspension.
Yep,
Yeah.
sorry. Oh, I just want to know. Do you think there was $56,000 worth of money on Kane's back when he was doing that push-up?
The stacks were 50 each.
No, but 50,000?
Yes.
Oh, so that push-up was equal in value
Yeah.
a little more than how much
Yeah.
he lost.
Yeah. Okay,
crazy.
I've gone back and forth on it. Like, okay,
I saw it.
it was
It's
from
definitely
behind.
suspendable.
Okay, there was intent because his back was to him the whole time, but the actual hit itself was.
But
Like,
all numbers.
yeah, I've been told like at first when it happened, I'm like, okay, I don't think that was that bad. And then after, I'm like, okay, well, give him a game because his back was to him the whole time. He did not let up. I think honestly, 2 games to me is heavy. I would
But
give him
first-time
1.
offender.
Yeah,
What did Lowry get for that Coletta hit?
1.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
that
would-
was
Because
bad.
that was hey, you hit Coletta. We should probably suspend you,
Yeah.
but good job on hitting Coletta.
Yeah.
No,
Fist
don't
bump.
say
Fist
that.
bump.
I don't like that. But I
But
get,
no,
I get,
that's-
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
To me, the
I
Kane
thought
hit
Lowry
wasn't
had-
that bad. There's been much worse. Like, intent or not. Like, the example I'm going to think of is McKinnon when he shoved, was it Shen? He was at
Luke Shen.
He was at the ring line. He shoved him headfirst into the boards. That's way more dangerous than
Ring
that
out
hit.
line's red line, right?
Yeah. That's
No, like goal line.
sorry, goal line.
Oh, okay,
Breakout line
yeah.
does not
And
exist
I'm-
in the NHL.
Okay, sorry.
I'm pretty sure Kreider did that to someone too. Like, to me,
Yeah.
those hits are way worse than Kane's hit.
See-
Those weren't even suspended. I know there's not intent there, and Kane's there was intent, so you can get him
The
for that.
moment McKinnon hit him,
Yeah,
he
I
was
know.
like, oh, piss.
But that should still be a suspension.
Mm-hmm.
And
you
Kane's
gotta
hit.
stay consistent, right?
If there was no intent in Kane's hit, I don't see it being even 5 minutes.
Well, my take on it, first of all, the number one thing that I've read all throughout the week after the Kane suspension was that the NHL Department of Player Safety is still very inconsistent after Brendan Shanahan leaving. They're trying to be stern, but not too stern, yet they seem to miss some suspensions. I feel they hit this hammer on the head, or hit this nail on the head with Kane's suspension.
For sure.
He gets 1 game for the initial hit and 1 game for a message to him. If you've watched Kane over the last 5 games, he's been hitting everything that moves, putting himself out of position, but he's also been reckless with those hits. And maybe this was one of those things where it's like, maybe
Too far.
take some ownership. Yeah,
Yeah.
because if, let's say, he doesn't get suspended for this game, or let's say he only gets one, he's probably going to go out and do it again. Now he's going to think a little bit more. Because for some reason, he's like, well, if I can't score, I'm just going to hit everyone.
Yeah, as Tyler said last week on the podcast, he's like, you don't get paid to hit people like that, or like be a...
Yeah, it's understandable, but you're just literally going out hitting people. It was an unnecessary hit. There was potential to let up. Easy call. Yeah. Refs nailed it. I am totally okay with the 2-game suspension. And I don't think he should be upset with it.
I think it's much just based on what hasn't been suspended elsewhere.
Maybe
if you compare it to other hits, I don't think it's worth 2 games.
I know where you're coming from, but maybe
in a fair
this
world,
is starting to turn. Maybe this is where they gotta start.
Today, this is a separate issue, but with Garbett, I mean, Slewfoot, those happen fairly often.
I didn't see that.
He actually did 2.
He slew-footed who?
Bufflin.
He slew-footed
and that was in the Dallas game.
Yeah, he also did it to Hutchinson. He got penalty for both.
Really?
Yeah, he got 3 games suspension.
He slew-footed Hutch?
He skated by the crease, and with his back leg, he went like this and kicked his feet out. And the ref was staring right at him. So, I mean...
So he didn't get one for the Hutch, but he got... So the Buff
one... He got a penalty for Hutch, he got a penalty for Buff, and then he got the suspension for the Buff one.
Okay.
My understanding. And I think it's deserved.
Did he get tossed from the game?
No.
And in that Dallas game, the Jets won 5-2. It was once 2-2, but then they decided to pull out a victory and went 5-2 with the back of Adam Larry, who scored 2 goals in that game.
In like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Nice. Good for him.
And then Adam Larry.
And then Michael Frolik scored an unbelievable shorthanded goal.
He did the
out-racing Alex Golgoski, I believe. And just
Michael
scoring.
That was
Dallas,
great. It was
a nice goal. However,
Dallas, man, they look bad.
Hutch played really well. I think if Hutch doesn't make that 2-on-1 save, and it becomes a 4-3 hockey game, it's a completely different game.
I saw that.
I still think the Jets pull it out, though. Because Dallas...
Oh, of course.
Dallas turns the puck over more than we did last year.
But Lettinen wasn't very good in this game. Runas didn't play too bad. And
Runas?
Yeah, you see Runas as their
backup. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
And
in 2 goals.
I think Hutch was the reason why they won this game. I think if you had an inconsistent goalie back there, they would probably would have won it because he made some really timely saves. And you have to shut down that team with Spezza, Ben, and Sagan.
I would agree that he made saves, but the Jets played much better than Dallas.
It also doesn't help.
The only star that did it that was noticeable was Sagan, honestly. And I'm not saying this to be biased. Dallas looked like a mess. Like Spezza, you didn't notice. Ben, on it for as good a player as he is, didn't do very much at all. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not biased. They just compared to how they were last year, they do not look good this year.
But they're missing the boat a little bit. But
also based off what Greg's saying, with
defense and goaltending, that's their problem.
Yeah, well, with defense and goaltending, just here, Dallas in the last 5 games, they've allowed 26 goals.
They've allowed 100 goals already.
They've scored 13.
They've allowed 100 goals already this year.
When should you hit the 100-goal mark?
That's bad.
Like, what the average?
On average, probably around the 40-game mark, I would say.
Yeah.
That gives you about 2.5 per game.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
They're over 3 goals a game right now.
Yeah, they're having trouble there. But maybe Lettinen's just aging. Maybe he's not as good as he once was. Maybe it's the fact they don't have any perennial defenseman.
They just looked out of sync, though. Like, they looked like the Jets looked under Noel. Like, they just, like talented players, but they didn't look like they had it
together. They get a new coach recently.
They have Lindy Ruff.
Last year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I think there's
they just didn't look together.
They just got to get it together.
Same with Colorado the other night.
They have the pieces. I think they just not necessarily the pieces. They need more
better D.
They need another perennial defenseman. Yeah. Like a lot of teams need D in this league, and I just don't. For some reason, there just seems to be such a shortage of decent defensemen in this league, and it's one of those things where you either need good goalies or you need to learn to play a good defensive system and be successful, and that's not what Dallas is playing right now. What are your guys' thoughts on the Hutch-Pav tandem? Do you think that you should play them as a 1A, 1B, or give a designated 1-2?
Keep it going how they have it. I mean...
How do they have it right now? 1A, 1B?
Pavlik's playing a bit more, but it's not considerably more.
Okay, well,
over the last 5 games, I think over the last 6, I think they've each started 3.
Yeah. Because you have to keep in mind, Hutchinson's leading the league in goals against and save percentage still.
Yeah. But he's also... He's 24. You don't want to... Is playing him too much hindering his...
I read something on Twitter, and once again, Twitter's all opinionated, but you're not hurting his progression anymore by playing him too much. I don't think you'll hinder his growth because we'll get to see what he's all about now. The only thing that could hinder would be his confidence, but right now he seems to be confident, and I think that the fans are really behind him. And it's funny to see because Pav is having, despite what a lot of people think is a mediocre year for a good goalie, he's having career years in both save percentage and goals against. He's
But it's being overshadowed by the new guy.
Overshadowed by Hutch, but still people, if Pav lets in a goal, they're immediately on him. If Hutch lets in a goal, they're like, that's fine, we know he's good.
Reminiscent of a certain situation
in Toronto
and
with Bernier and Reimer.
That's just because there's 3 years of history. And I don't agree with it. I mean, people jump on him way too quick, Pavlik, but that's just because of the history of him not being consistent, I guess.
Exactly.
But I mean,
totally agree.
I would keep doing it the way they're doing it because Pavlik's playing good. He's playing a hell of a lot better than he's ever played here. You know, and at least you know if he starts to go back to his old form, you have another goalie you can toss in there.
Well,
they're winning, so I wouldn't mess with it, honestly.
I say, just keep going with whatever works. But what do you think?
Yeah.
Me, I mean, I guess I don't mind a 1A, 1B. I just definitely, I would still say a clear-cut number. Like, I like the number one system. Like, I'd love to have a 1A, 1B. Not that they don't have that. But especially because he's 24, I know playing him too much. I mean, he's played a couple years in the A at this point, I think, or at least
more
one.
ECHL.
Yeah, or ECHL, whatever. He's used to playing games, but I'm still on the side of. I would say I would do the 57-30. No, 57-30 or whatever the 55-30.
43.
40. Either way, I would do like 60.
I would keep doing
60-22. I'll do it that way.
Because Hutch has played, I think,
10. Don't play him in back-to-back.
Hutch has played about 10 games.
Or play him if he's sucking, then sure, play Hutch. But apart from that, I'd play Pav.
Hutch has played about 10.
I don't think
Pavlik's
Hutch
played
has
about 20,
earned enough. Well, this year he's maybe earned it, but in past years you've seen, and even this year you're seeing it, with the decreased amount of workload that he's taking, he's playing better. Mm-hmm. And he's been starting 60 games. And he's not playing well enough at a 60-game goalie.
No, I'm
so
saying,
play him around a 50 or even 45.
But I'm talking Pav be the guy.
I heard something.
Pav's be the number one.
Yeah, but why?
What do you
Stats
mean?
show that he's not good when he plays that much.
Oh, Pav's?
Yeah.
Well, then
I
would still give him a lot more starts than Hutch would.
Something to throw in.
I'd do right around the 50 mark.
Something to throw in on this, because I heard this on the radio last week. When they have a rotation where it doesn't, like, Hutch doesn't play. Like, him getting a start is not indicative of Pavlik having a bad game. In the past, our backups only played if Pavlik shit the bed or had a bad game.
Yep.
Like, and that's not a healthy environment. Because if you're the backup, you're almost rooting for the starting goalie to have a bad game.
Crew.
No, you're hoping that your partner fails so you can play. If you're the starter, you're paranoid that if you're gonna fail, you're gonna get tossed from starting. Mm-hmm. The way the Jets have it. Doesn't matter how you play. You can play amazing, and the other guy might play the next game. You could play terrible, and you still might get the start next game.
It's a nice problem.
Yeah.
Not even a problem. It's a good issue to have.
No, but here's the thing. They aren't doing it based on how well they play. They're just doing it, they're giving them both games.
Which is different, obviously, based off Maurice, because he's coming in first full year.
It's a better team environment, because they're, it's like both guys are guaranteed. They know that they're going to play. They just have to play the games that they're told to play. Mm-hmm. It's not,
Yeah, I agree with what you both of you said, but I'm definitely with Greg, and obviously the stats show that when he plays a lot, he sucks. So, or not sucks, but plays a lot less equal. So I would say, I would still give Pavs like the bigger share per se of starts.
I totally
You have to keep in mind too, though.
For now,
we've always been a bottom 5 defensive team in the league. We're number 4 this year.
Yeah.
So that helps.
Mm-hmm.
That helps. That takes a lot of stress off your goalie. When you allow that few goals.
They're 7th lowest in the NHL.
Are they? Okay, well, they were 4th a couple days ago.
And they were 21st last year.
Yeah, so, I mean,
with 66 goals.
That's a big jump. That's a really big jump.
That's awesome.
Obviously, the Jets currently are in a playoff spot. Little known fact, last year they're 9-15-5 inside their division. So far this season, they're 5-3-1. Mm-hmm.
Ain't bad.
That's where the improvement needed to happen, was inside their division, because if you look at that, you turn a couple of those losses into wins, and you're right there with with the playoffs.
What position do you have to make playoffs in your division? 3?
3.
3 and up?
Yeah. And then there's 2
So they're in 4 right now.
They're 4th, but they're only 4 points behind Chicago.
No, I know, but I'm just want to know.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And another, just to throw on stat on Greg, they also have not lost to a team that's below 500.
Yeah,
this
that's huge.
Last year, they would do that a lot.
Because they played down to teams.
Yeah, they haven't done that this year.
Yeah, they've kept that work ethic up, which is huge.
They played well.
But if you look, their 5 wins have come against Avalanche twice, Dallas, Nashville, and I'm going to butcher the last team.
Minnesota. No.
No. I saw it earlier.
Carolina.
Carolina is not. Did you just say Carolina?
I'm just tossing
Chicago.
out.
Carolina.
Chicago.
Yes, Chicago.
There you go.
Carolina.
Tossing out
Yeah.
games.
I
I
understand.
don't watch a lot of games this year, Greg.
I understand that. Okay, like I get that they're beating like the bottom feeder, quote unquote bottom feeders, but like it's the way they play. You watch them play. They don't like Dallas. They were far and above the better team. Colorado, they dominated that whole game, and even Anaheim, they held up with the Ducks, who are the best team in the league right now. So it's not just that they're winning games; it's that they look like a competitive team, and they look like a team that's hard to play against, which is nice. It's nice to see that they aren't kind of a pushover like they have been.
Very true. One of the other big things about their improvement this year was a definite improvement on the road record. They're much better on the road, actually, than they are at home.
Are they still number 1 in the league for road?
I don't think so, actually.
Because they were.
They were up there, but I don't think they are anymore.
I think they are, though. They're like 9-4-2 or something?
Okay. Anyway, yeah.
That might be right, actually.
We'll find it.
Avs play Jets tonight again.
It's
round number
fine.
3.
Could get ugly.
Why?
In terms, because there was a lot of fighting in that third period last week.
Potentially.
I mean, Colorado was just pissed because they got spanked. You know.
And they,
You know, I have to say this. Jerome McGinley, oh my God, he looked good the other night.
He's still got it.
He still got it.
Yeah.
He was the only guy in that team that looked good. And I understand that they played the night before and and they traveled and stuff, but he looked good.
2-0 this season. Predictions?
Huh?
Are they going to win?
Tonight?
Going to win? Yeah.
I'll say yeah.
I'll say 4.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
They're in Colorado?
In Colorado.
I'll say 4-2 Jets.
I'm going to say overtime win for Jets.
I'm going to say
They'll get
shootout
a
loss. Shootout loss for Jets.
I keep saying that they're going to lose a game sooner or later, and they keep winning. So I'm like, oh, they're also on a point streak again. They're 5-0-2.
Yep. But the crazy thing is, if you look at the West, the teams that we're all chasing are all. I think the worst record of a team that we're chasing is 5-4-2 in their last 10. 5-3-2 in their last 10.
Yeah.
Like, it's just impossible to move up the standards in the West.
The Jets
It's just ridiculous.
You just can't give up your position,
Yeah.
but you have to wait
If
for
you
them.
asked anybody 30 games into the season if the Jets would be 4 points out of first in the Central and 8 points out of first in the entire league, people would have told you you're crazy.
Definitely.
I wouldn't say crazy.
They have to keep it. I'm just saying they've definitely exceeded everyone's expectations of them.
I can agree
They're
with that.
on. It's just I'm not.
And
I'm surprised by this. I want to. Obviously, they've been proving me wrong, but I don't think they consistently are going to be able to keep it up. I want to know.
That's the thing.
I want to know if it slows down or stops. How bad is it going to be before they get back?
Here's
to
the thing: every team goes through a slump, though.
Yeah, of course.
It's gonna happen.
I'm not denying that.
And-
that happens.
But it's like it's getting to the point in the season where through 10 games, people are like, oh, okay, you know what, they're doing good, but we'll see. 20 games, okay, they're still doing good, but we'll see. 30 games, still doing good. It's getting to the point where instead of them saying, can they keep it up, they're still doing it.
Yeah, with injuries.
I understand it can go downhill in a minute, but I don't know. They look like a playoff team if you watch them play.
The only thing I have to say is that right now they're clicking. Their their penalty kill is unbelievable, playing really well.
Yep.
One of the
play's
crazy
picking it up,
things
too.
is that they have one of the lowest shooting percentages in the league, and that just isn't going to be sustainable for that long. So they're going to eventually start scoring, and it's not like their goaltending is that unbelievable that that's not sustainable. So the numbers they're posting right now are sustainable. They just need to bring this effort every night and play this way, unless teams figure out a way to play them and learn how to play and beat them. And it might come to the point where they're gonna have tougher points in their schedule where they're gonna have to play. They haven't even played Vancouver yet, and who knows what that can be like. But they haven't played the tougher teams enough, like St. Louis, Chicago, Anaheim. They haven't played those top teams enough to really put a barometer on how well they're playing. You look at Calgary, and Calgary's playing a lot of those, borderline teams as well. They're not playing those upper echelon teams as much yet. And once they get into those tougher points in their schedule, how are they gonna really stay the course during that time.
Absolutely.
That's my only fear for this team. I think they could make the playoffs. Obviously, it's still way too early to tell. With anything can happen between now and then. Injuries obviously is an issue right now, even, but not even that. If you lose Pach or Pav or Buff at this point, it could be catastrophic because they'd be playing with such a weak blue line. Or
I think
Poo guy.
I think coaching
that would bring up Melchiori probably.
No, but for D.
No, actually,
if Hutch or Pav went down,
probably Hellebuck.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
I was gonna say this before, but just because Greg mentioned a call up, Sherratt, he looks like an NHL defenseman. He looks good. Like he's big. He hits. He looks confident.
He's been put in a position to succeed. I think
he's on the top pair, and at Bufflin since he moved back has looked dominant, which he never did as a defenseman really.
Well, maybe they had a system, but
I think it's coaching. Honestly,
coaching.
It's coaching. The Jets are honest. They're one of the most physical teams in the league, and that makes a big difference because they don't back down like they used to. They don't get intimidated. They don't get they most of the games that I've watched this year, they have set the tone as opposed to play to the tone that's set by the other team, and they never used to do that. So I mean, you look at their top two defensemen technically go down. They throw two other guys back there, and their defense still is just as good.
Yeah.
You lose Kane. I know he's drastically.
I'm surprised the rumor mill hasn't started.
He's drastically he's not meeting his expectations. But you take out one of your top six forwards, and you still dominate a team.
Why not make a change for that?
Well, here's my question though. Bufflin's looked so good on defense. I mean, Buff's been, to me, he might be their best player this year. He's hitting everything. He's physical.
He has his own.
He's a big
Lego
presence.
Guy now?
Yeah. Yeah. But would you keep Buff back there now that you have Sherratt? No. Once all your defensemen are healthy, do you use one of them to trade for a forward?
No.
And keep Buff on D?
No.
I'm not going to answer this only because I haven't seen. I seriously haven't watched a full game since a Montreal game on Thanksgiving.
Hockey,
it doesn't matter.
Or not Thanksgiving.
You can't. Despite of how well he's playing, you can't just be like, yeah, you know what? Maurice isn't going to change his mind. He knows that. That's one of the great versatile things about Bufflin is he can play defense and forward. He wants him at forward. It's killing him that he's not at forward right now. I'm sure Maurice wants him there. So he's not going to. They're not going to do that. And guys, come on, it's Chevy. He's not going to make a trade. Let's be serious here.
No. Maurice said quote unquote he said Bufflin can do anything he sets his mind to. So I think I agree.
But at the start of last year,
I agree
he's playing forward.
Yeah.
Is he only on D right now because they need him on D?
Yeah. Injuries.
That's it.
Klitzum, Bogo, and Toby are out for the whole month. Yeah.
Well, Bogo's 4 to 6 weeks as we reported last week.
But I think he's more effective as a forward. But it's a nice problem to have.
Yeah.
When you're top.
Well, that's the second time
when your top 2D can go down, and you can throw one of your forwards down there, and he's your best defenseman automatically.
Now on to a team that actually makes trades. The Prince Albert Raiders traded Jets prospect and future World Junior 2015 player
buckle up. Let's go.
To the Joshua Morrissey to the Kelowna Rockets. He will now play with his future line mate Madison Bowie.
Mm-hmm. Left shot, right shot.
Wow.
Madison Bowie is, I believe, first in the CHL in defenseman points.
We're moving into the World Juniors now. I want to touch on just a couple points for the World Juniors.
Get on it.
This question is.
Before you continue, Kelowna is number 1 ranked in WHL, number 2 in CHL rankings.
Is this a tactical move by either Prince Albert or maybe a push from Hockey Canada saying, if you're thinking about trading Josh Morrissey, trade him here to help a progression early on? Yes, now it's late, but what if this trade happened? Do you think it was because they would like to see Madison Bowie and Joshua Morrissey earlier now, or is it more of a see them later?
Based off the past, lots of players who have played in representative Team Canada, because camp literally opened today.
Yeah.
So Josh Morrissey found out this trade happened last night at 8. I found out at 9 o'clock our time.
So it would have been 7 o'clock their time.
In Oh yeah. Like,
Well,
he
Prince
found
Albert,
out-
sorry, he was probably
already
6.
in Toronto. He was already
okay.
there. Like he found out when he was there, so he was probably like Madison Bowie. They probably call Madison and be like, or however he says, "Hey Madison, you want to go next door? I'm actually hanging out with Josh right now. He's in a line partner. Go tell him." Like no, but still,
This is the guy.
based off the past, it happens all the time where they get traded in during the camp. And you were saying about pushing it to they're odds-on favorite to literally be the top line parent for a penalty kill, power play,
Everything.
number one everything. Because
who has Bowie's rights?
Huh?
Who has Bowie's rights?
Oh, Kelowna.
No, like NHL.
Oh,
or is he draft
check that.
eligible
No,
this year?
he's drafted already. I'm
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank as who. But they were odds-on favorite to play with each other, and this is another thing that it's Prince Albert's having an off year because obviously they got Morrissey back, but you can only do so much with the star defenseman.
Washington Capitals.
Okay, there you go. And he's not the biggest dude. I think he's 5'11", 180 or something like
Yeah.
that. But they also lost their star forward in Leon Draisaitl because I still think he should be back in junior, but whatever.
Yeah, they don't have anyone.
Prince Albert in junior, it's like you have regressions of like 5 years usually where it's like, your average will make playoffs but you won't make noise. But Prince Albert's retooling for like the future, and Kelowna's time is now. Like they're just
This is their
romping.
chance. This is their chance to win. They're playing unbelievable
Well,
hockey.
Kelowna statistically, he's only going to be there for a very short time unless he gets sent back next year. Morrissey, I don't know, maybe. Which another thing we could talk about back to Jets there, but
Morrissey can't get sent back. He'll be overage. He'll be 20 years old.
Okay,
He'll be ice.
perfect. Well, then we won't talk about it. But Kelowna is a defense. Like if it was on hometown hockey, they're a defensive factor.
They're stupid.
Oh my goodness!
Their defense is
Here,
ridiculous.
I'm just gonna name just one guy. I won't even name everyone. Just one. Shea Weber.
Yeah. No. I
Shea
know.
Weber got passed over in the WHL draft. Passed over in the draft.
Yeah, but
What?
you never know.
Look at what they made him. He's the best.
Cam,
I suck.
we know a guy that was drafted in the WHL draft, and what is he doing now?
I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just
obviously.
saying that, like,
of course,
you never know what's going to pan out.
But back to what I was going to say about the Jets was, do you think next year, we'll talk about very briefly, because obviously we could talk about way in the future, like in summer when we don't talk about anything really.
Yeah.
Do you think the Jets could would ice a roster with 3 rookies on it? In Patan, Ehlers, and Morrissey.
Next year,
Morrissey, I don't want to go
all
on
3
record,
of them there
but I'm
next
going
year.
on record. Morrey's a lock to make the team next year.
All-
for
Jets?
Jets. I'm
See, I
saying
disagree.
he's a lock.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Fine.
No, he's
going
not.
to be top call-up.
Honestly, Cam, of the 3, I think he is the last guy that'll make it.
The furthest.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. Because
we'll see Ehlers.
Ehlers will be...
Maybe.
I think he'll be
That
there.
is
We'll
my
get to see
prediction.
him at World Juniors too. Damn
Exactly.
dog.
But, like, the only reason why I don't think we're going to see Patan and Morrissey
All 3 of them?
and potentially Ehlers, most likely we'll see Ehlers next year. But the reason why I say that is we're working with the systems. There's really... Whose spot is he going to take?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't see
Klitzmann's
it.
or Postman. I think Postman's playing too well to give up that spot.
Post was only on a 1 year though, isn't he?
No.
2?
I think, yeah, he might have an
Maybe-
option at the
maybe.
end of this year.
1 year. What?
Regardless, there are guys still in the system. He will have to really prove that he belongs there. He's still a little small.
It's definitely not going to hurt that he's
No.
obviously.
And really being inside the Kelowna Rockets system, he will develop into probably the defenseman that he needs to be because he is going to be in a tougher Western Conference inside the Western Hockey League.
Which is okay. I don't want to be biased, but I'm being biased. I don't care. The WHL is the best out of all 3. Like
This year.
That's fine.
every year. Come on.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
For
okay.
competition level,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, there you go.
I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
competition level
Yeah,
wise,
sorry.
yes.
Yeah.
Not definitely the teams that come out of the WHL are
yeah,
always the
that's
strongest.
true.
Like a team that wins the championship probably had the hardest route because there's so many
Oh, they beat the hell up.
teams.
My God.
There's
Yeah.
good teams in the WHL. In the OHL and the Q, there's always great teams because they build dynasty. There's always the London Knights, and then there's always like 2 or 3 other teams in the O. And then same with the Q, it's always 1 team or 2 teams that just
And
dominate.
speaking of another Jets prospect who, I mean, I just heard very small rumblings, but Halifax right now, it's being hosted, the Memorial Cup's being hosted by Quebec.
Yeah.
So if you make
Ramparts.
it to the QMJHL final, you're in the Memorial Cup.
Yep.
Now,
100%.
Halifax has, I don't think they have the team to make it realistically. I have them keeping 2 good
No,
tabs on it.
they're rebuilding this year.
But there's a few teams like around there that have shown interest in Nick Ehlers. But it's like Nick Ehlers is a guy you bring in like in junior. It's like Like, the trade for Morrissey was Morrissey, Gage Quinney, a forward, from Prince Albert, for Austin Glover, Jesse Lees, and 2 draft picks. It's like 4
Building
for
for
2.
the future.
For,
Building for
it's
the
like,
future.
Yeah, it's like, you don't, like, it's not like NHL where it's like, oh, this is an even trade. It's like, oh, no, you're going to give us the next 3 years of your guys, and you're going to get 6 months out of this guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
That is what it is, though. And
Yeah.
that's where the push and pull comes from for for any CHL team, is you
Yeah.
always have maybe 1 or 2 years of great hockey, and then you have 4 years of rebuilding.
You know
and that's just the way it
You know what's
works.
funny about that is
It's like
another...
the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, well, another
Minus
top,
the 1 to 2 years of good hockey.
yeah, the top team.
like the Sens.
Another top team that we
That's
talked
true.
about, like at the start of this year with Morrissey, Brandon. I'm
Yeah.
surprised Brandon didn't try
to get him.
because man,
Maybe they'll get Patel.
they had a wicked fast start and then they
regressed.
they regressed a little bit. They're still up there, but. Yeah.
And
another
be
thing.
interesting to see.
Not one Brandon invitee to Team Canada.
No, Brett.
They have
the one
Ivan
thing I did
Provorov
notice-
will be on the D for
The one thing I
Russia.
did notice about our World Junior camp selection, as I think I mentioned in one of the podcasts, I don't really know for sure, is there was a lack of OHL. Or lack of QMJHL. I felt it was very OHL,
always.
WHL.
There's still
heavy.
only 3 guys.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Is it just lack of development? Yet when you think
Out
about
of the
it,
3, they
just-
usually rank
but
lowest, which is weird though because the superstars are from the Q.
Halifax, St. John's Ice Dogs,
No, but even name the players coming out of the Q.
Crosby,
LeCavalier, McKinnon,
McKinnon,
Drouin.
Yeah.
What? They produce one. I don't know. It's weird. They produce one-off guys, but not factories of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, maybe not Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC, just they're so good.
Now, talking about Drouin, it has been confirmed today that Steve Yzerman said he will not let Drouin go.
Oh, don't you?
Yeah,
God,
sorry.
the way you set that up, I was like,
I let that no.
Yeah.
He said that he wants Drouin to get regular NHL minutes. He
Oh,
doesn't want
because
to. He doesn't want to allow
scratching him,
him.
but whatever.
Yeah, but
The second time you
I
hate
know.
your country, Steve Yzerman. Second time.
I don't.
Yeah, but
Last year,
Yeah.
Claude Giroux, joking me.
Tampa's a cup contender this year. You're not going to screw it up to send a guy
Yeah,
to
I
juniors.
know. I'm just being stupid.
Come
on.
But who did get released?
Anthony Duclair.
Ah,
He is
top line
projected
right
to be
wing.
top line.
Ah.
So today at camp, these were the lines.
He's so fast.
These
so
were
good.
just lines at first Canada practice.
Okay.
Domi, Reinhardt, Duclair, Dalcall, Dickinson, Krause, Richie, Gauthier, Vertanen,
Ooh, that's
Eli, Chartier, Fabry with McDavid, Madison or Morrissey, then Bowie, Theodore and Hickett's, Morin, Biggrass,
Wait,
Fleury,
who's Morin?
Sineham. What?
more.
Biggrass.
Oh, Chris Bygrass.
No-
Whatever.
no
and who
Connery?
is second? Who is second pair? He's
That's
automatically there.
that's
He's on the
a
team.
goaltender.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
not in the defensive lines.
No, wait,
Oh,
wait. Say the
I thought
two
you
lines
read the
again.
goalies, though.
Sorry, I talked over you. Go.
Fleury and Sanheim are the 8th defense. That's the last defense pairing. The one omission that I saw from this is Mark Masters reporting this on Twitter. There was no Patan in here.
We probably didn't get there yet. Portland?
Yeah. He said, correction, Eli Chartier with Baptiste. Fabry actually not on a set line. So I think it's Fabry, Patan, and McDavid not on lines right now. They're just kind of floating through the drills.
Well,
These aren't set in stone. They're just
wait,
kind of
but
seeing
David's
where
there.
things- Yeah.
So his hands are.
Well,
His cast
McDavid's
came off
cast
a
is
couple
off.
days
He's
ago.
able to practice with Erie, non-contact, of course, so he's probably there practicing with them.
Well, this is
Non-contact.
this is like Mark Scheifele a couple years ago when we sent him back and his foot was or shoulder or foot or something. He only practiced he did practice non-contact, and then he played one game, one exhibition game, and then they're like, yeah, he's on the team. Everyone's like, well, I don't know, he's not very healthy. Team Canada's like, easy. We have a what's that machine again? Dragon Ball Z.
Hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, we got Team Canada's got thousands of us.
Yeah,
you
we're
just
good.
go. It's like
We're
a water
fine.
slide.
And
for
we still can't win a gold medal.
5 seconds.
Any
It's
medal.
gosh darn going in
We're
now.
gonna win something
This year
year.
it happens.
It's gonna.
I hope so, for
If you
your
could
sake.
score a goal against the Flyers, you
I
can
want Cam to
score
have a happy
goal on
Christmas.
America.
Cam hasn't had a good Christmas since I met him because Canada hasn't won crap.
Dan, I found the solution.
That's a lie. They
Our
won-
friendship's
09.
ended. I'm not losing luck. You're the
09.
link.
09.
Get out of here.
09. They won gold medal. I knew you then.
You
Your
did.
myth
You
is
did.
debunked.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
You can stay.
But World Juniors, sweet mom, I can't wait. Oh, it's gonna be the best.
Cam,
What?
what's that thing next to you?
Oh
What
my
would
God!
that be?
Here, let me. Oh no! It's so big, big, big.
That's what
It's
she,
the mailbag.
That's what she said.
No, it's not what she said.
Oh.
So the first topic of today's mailbag.
What is that?
That's
more like
just
the
a-
whale bang right there. Plop.
Cut Cutting them down.
Sens decide to fire coach and
What the hell's up with
past
that?
Jack Adams winner Paul McLean.
2 years ago. 2.
Yeah, they fire him as head coach.
What the hell's up with that? Is that because he made a comment on the weekend and something along the lines of "I'm terrified every time we play someone. I don't care who it is."
That is
why he got
probably
canned?
part of it, but that's not the complete.
I heard he lost
issue.
the team.
He lost the team. It was Paul McLean's way or the highway. It wasn't the one thing that Paul McLean was really good at, and why they made the playoffs that one year.
Because it was his way.
No, it wasn't his way. He was working with young players, and he really developed a team atmosphere in the room.
Okay.
I've talked to a couple of Sens fans because, unfortunately, I have friends who are Sens fans.
Unfortunately, you have friends.
No, not unfortunately, I have friends. Unfortunately, my
Unfortunately for
friends
them.
are Sens fans.
You have a few? I think of one.
I know two. I
Oh,
go to
wow.
school with another
Two?
guy. Yeah, I
That's a
know.
great white
He's
buffalo.
he's an Alfie lover. Too.
Oh, he
Yeah.
is an
Oh,
Alfie
yeah, no.
lover. He's a beautiful man.
So
Of course.
apparently he lost the room, and I've also heard reports of it from.
Pretty much.
That's how.
everywhere.
Yeah, he lost the room. He stopped working with the young players, and he just kind of sloughed them off, and just kind of it was his way. He didn't want to work with Carlson. That was one of the biggest reasons
Yeah,
why
what the hell
Spezza
was that
left.
the other day when Carlson threw his stick
He's
on
just,
the ice? That was so weird.
Spezza was fed up with it, and I think maybe that was part. There was
That
a
would
lot of
explain
things
a
that we
few
don't know,
things.
and it could also be one of the reasons why Alfie didn't come back was because
Maybe.
McLean might have. Maybe there was some just back and forth there, and McLean just kind of was a stickler for what his mind was for the perfect perfection of this team, or
And
perfect
that,
outlook of this team.
that could have really hurt them because, quite honestly, they don't have much to work.
Their interim
They
coach
don't
is
have
Dave
much to-
Cameron.
Dave Cameron.
They don't
Let's
have
get
like
Back to World Junior.
player wise though. They don't have a lot to work with. And if the reason that all your guys are leaving is because of your coach,
Hold
that,
on, you're an NHL coach. I don't know. I go crap on that in terms of those players. Okay, your Ottawa may not be able to hold up against Pittsburgh or the top echelon guys, but they're still in the NHL. They've earned their right to be there.
No,
you have to work with what you're given.
But I'm saying if your coach has forced all your better players out, that's not good.
Oh no, of course
That's
not.
what I'm saying.
So
if your top end guys left because your coach, I mean that kind of puts them in a really bad position right now because like they're not a very okay, they have some talented players, but they're not a very talented team if you look at the grand scheme of the entire league.
They're in rebuilding mode.
Yeah, so
They're not in full rebuild mode. They're in
Yeah,
peace rebuild mode as
They
they're
definitely
trying to
have some
find
hits
guys.
and misses for sure for
They-
drafts.
you know.
Well, it's very hit and miss, and they have Carlson, which is a definite good thing. We'll see how many more years they get out of
Robert
Craig
Lando
Anderson.
coming up.
yeah.
We'll see how
Their
he
defense is okay.
progresses.
Bobby Ryan's, he's been
He's
good.
there.
He's been
Didn't he
fine.
sign a big old contract?
Yeah.
Oh, they have him.
Yeah.
We covered that. We were a part of that.
But aside from
Guys,
that, I mean, like,
I have strep throat. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna blame everything on strep throat,
Here it
darn
is.
tooth I
including
am.
wearing that toque.
No,
But
that's 2 keeps from me.
according to McLean, players gotta play.
And the haters gonna hate. I'm gonna shake.
Just
And
saying.
he's gonna shake it off. And did you guys see the quote after?
Did you guys see Taylor Swift at the Victoria's Secret fashion show? Yes, I did. Mama.
No.
I want
Lady of
her.
Your Dreams?
Oh my God.
Lady of Your Dreams?
Yes.
I
She
thought-
can
Yeah,
sit
but-
on my face anytime
Yeah, but
she
Greg,
wants.
you have to pretend to like her music then.
I do like her music.
Her music,
Ye-
1989 is good.
It's actually a good album.
Gosh darn. I've heard 3
Do you know what I've been
songs.
listening to while I
my
study?
thing.
Taylor Swift. Why? Because it pumps me up while I study.
Pump
Sure.
something
It
else
just
up, too.
keeps me in a cheery mood. It does.
I'd
That's
rather-
I gotta watch her.
I'd rather watch
She's-
the GOAT than
oh,
Taylor Swift.
You'd
God.
rather watch a
so
goat than Taylor
hard.
Swift?
The GOAT that goes, "Rah!"
Oh, whatever.
What?
That's way better than her songs.
Come on.
Yeah.
She actually
Um,
has talent, but that's
Goats
She's
are
alright.
talented too. They make goat cheese.
So yeah, I think
They're in
I think it
YouTube
was a
videos.
shocking
It's a little weird.
shocking firing, and especially the timing of it because it came after a huge comeback win against the Canucks on national TV. And then they're just like, yeah, we're gonna fire you.
My understanding is Brian Murray talked to the players before that Canuck game, and they all basically said,
Agreed.
"We don't want him here
Yeah,
anymore."
and I think
So the writing was already on the wall.
it has to be.
Like
So-
he was gone.
Rapid
Yes.
fire. McLean, will he have a new
McLean.
job? Sorry, McLean.
Of
Will he
course.
have a new job within a year?
Yes.
With-
And
A
where?
year?
Greg, hold on. First, yes, and
Edmonton.
oh, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Go.
Yes.
And if so, where?
Who?
Although they might not fire Eakins, but
I don't think.
I don't think it's Eakins' fault.
I don't think.
I don't think it's Eakins' fault. We talked about that last week.
I think Mac T's gonna pull a Chevy and do absolutely nothing.
He hasn't.
That's
done
exactly what he did. He called a press conference to say,
That's
I'm so
not
glad Chevy
true.
doesn't
I
do
called
that.
the press conference to say that I'm having a press conference. Okay, the press conference is over.
That's about as useful
No
as...
further questions.
That's about as useful as a decision. Thank you. Thank you for being decisive about something, and then just having dead air for the rest of it.
Okay,
pointless.
McLean, who's he coaching by the end of the year? Sharks. They're not doing good.
Sharks?
They're not doing good,
Who's
and
their
I
coach?
think they're going to.
They're 2 points behind the Jets right now for the last spot.
They're behind
But
the
who
Jets.
is the coach?
They're normally like top.
No, but
But
who's
they-
the coach there? Todd McClellan?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they made
He's
some
got
very
great hair.
they
It was-
made some
it's a
very
bold
questionable
pick.
off-season decisions.
See,
The
because here's the
second
thing.
time they've stripped the captaincy from
Yeah.
someone.
Here's the thing,
They're a
though, like-
very interesting team.
You can say Colorado, but Waugh's been there a year. If they have a bad year, they're not going to can them.
No, Jack Adams again. That'd be weird.
Dallas, they're having a bad year, but they're not going to can Lindy Ruff. He's only been there for a year. So I mean, those are two teams that are doing
You
bad,
guys!
but they aren't going to can their coach.
It
Philly,
could be-
maybe Philly, because they're doing the
Baruby?
shits too.
It ain't Barubi's fault.
Wow.
Don't you put that on
He
Chief.
might not
Don't
have
you
a job
know
next
that,
year,
Chief?
He
but
might not.
I'd love to see. I'd take Paul McLean as an associate coach or assistant for sure.
yeah, he has changed his attitude a bit. I think that award went to his head a little, which is definitely
Okay, well
something
since
that's an issue.
all right, well
Or
since
to
you
his
talked about
mustache.
Edmonton briefly on Sunday, we talked about how the Oilers beat the Sharks 2-1. Did you hear Eakins' quote in the press?
No.
It was they're like, "What are your thoughts on the win and finally snapping on streak?" He's like, "Oh, there's a monkey, an elephant, a large gorilla off of our backs." I'm like, that's it. And then the quote ended. Like, and then they asked him the next question. He left him like just floating. It was awesome.
That team gets no luck though, because I was at the game that they played against the Jets, and the Jets played like shit in the third period, and Edmonton was Nugent Hopkins especially. They were busting their asses to win that game.
They
And
just
then
have no puck luck.
They have no luck.
The
Jets
ever-elusive puck luck.
The Jets throw a puck on net. Buff tips it in. They throw a shot on net 10 seconds in overtime and they score. Like, Edmonton they have no luck at all.
Wait.
We got to...
Hold on. You guys, I'm going to tweet. Did you guys see the Sharks team wrap holiday sweater?
No.
No, I haven't
I'll
seen
tweet
it.
it's the best.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Tampa Bay's making shirts of that fake jersey that they pranked everyone with?
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you know that Steven Stamkos scored 250 goals
I did
this
know
week?
that.
Bam, rapid fire.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire? How about this for
Lad
rapid
Little
fire?
Wheeler.
Scandella getting 2-game suspension. Keith Ballard out with a concussion and facial damage after
Because he
hit.
broke his face.
Multiple facial fractures out indefinitely.
Ilya Bryzgalov signs with Ducks. Sabres open to trading Stuart Enroth and Neuwirth. Or Neuwirth, yeah. Canadian teams
I wouldn't
currently
take
hold
Stewart.
5 playoff spots compared to one team making playoffs last year.
Yeah.
They currently hold spots 9 to 13 in overall league standings.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
Now, rapid fire. Okay.
Let me test my knowledge. Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, Calgary, Winnipeg.
Yeah, in no specific order.
No,
Ottawa,
yeah.
Ottawa, and who's missing? Edmonton.
Edmonton.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Now, out of rapid fire, unless you have something else to add.
I have.
I just want to say,
Oh,
quick
okay.
signing.
That's fine.
I'm not a signing, a pickup.
No big
Isn't it kind of weird that...
Oh, Char's back from injury.
Oh, is he nice?
Yeah.
The Ducks picked
Good
up
tonight.
Rene Bourque, and of course he scores
Yeah.
against the Jets. Go ahead, Dan. Or Gray, whoever's going next.
I just have an article I want to get your guys' opinion on.
What was the article?
It's about the Boston Bruins, just
Okay.
some of the moves they've made recently, and how their GM technically still has a job. But okay, so this is just in the last 10 years they've traded these four. Okay, these 4 players have played for them, or could have, or still could, or could be playing for them right now.
Okay.
Joe Thornton, Phil Kessel, Blake Wheeler, Tyler Seguin. Okay.
Whoa, Tyler Seguin, I'd put a big star
Yes.
beside that.
I understand that he played for them.
Oh, yeah, right, never mind.
No,
I'm
these
thinking
are
of
all-
Toronto. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. They've
Okay.
all either played or have played.
Here's the article. Those are 4 guys. If any of those guys was on that team now, statistically, they would be their best player, points-wise. So here is what they have. So they gave up those 4 guys. Here's what they have on their roster right now from those trades. Matt Barkowski, Louis Eriksson, Alexander Falstrom, Matt Fraser, Dougie Hamilton, Alexander Kokavlichev, Jared Knight,
Kolkachev.
Joe Morrow, Dennis Seidenberg, Riley Smith.
So Riley Smith.
But you're not also talking about the moves they brought guys in.
But I'm just saying, they've passed up those 4 players who technically would be their best player.
Okay. But here's my argument with that article right away. Or my, I guess, counterpoint to that article. Kessel, how are you going to pass up 2 picks when really you don't want to spend the money? The problem why they didn't get Kessel, Toronto offered him more money than Boston was willing to pay him. Boston did not want to pay him over $4 million, and he was 5.5 was what Toronto offered him. So they took the 2 picks and ran with it. Sagan wasn't working with the team. It was the Sagan show.
He wasn't good enough at the time to usurp Bergeron and Krejci, and they're a two-way team.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And he's a one-way forward. No offense.
We saw both his amazing highlight goals 2 weeks ago. It was ridiculous.
Exactly.
Same move both times.
Joe Thornton, thing about him,
what
that was
happened
an
there?
interesting
I don't remember
move.
that.
I think it was just friction between Thornton and the franchise. And I think the franchise wanted to go in a different direction, and Thornton wanted to go in a different direction. They wanted to get younger. I think that's what it was.
But he was young, wasn't he?
He was approaching that, he was approaching his prime. But the thing was they wanted to just kind of hit that rebuild, and that's when they really hit their stride with Chara, Rask. That's when they had Kessel at the time. Like, they were really just trying to rebuild. So they brought in good moves, and then who was the 4th one that you mentioned?
Wheeler.
Blake Wheeler, okay.
What the hell was that one for?
That was Peverley
and Valby, who were neither of them.
Okay, hold on. I'm just going to say, are you done with your counter-argument?
I think the Wheeler one was, once again, Guy Barrett and the Lions would never have had a chance.
And he also
these, honestly, aren't that bad of moves. But you could also talk about how many guys did freaking Chicago have that they've given up that have not necessarily been best players
of teams, but have been successful. You look out the right guy. Philadelphia. You joking me?
Yeah.
Let's start that funnel list. I don't want to read that article in my life.
This list is a team of Bruins complaining because they're not the best team ever.
The article is reaching a little bit, but it is pretty interesting to see that they have four guys you can build your team around, and the return they've got for them is not good.
Every team probably has that. That's writing the 4 big.
And I mean, Kate, to be fair, Sagan was half as good as he was now.
Because of his playing time, right? Based on Wheeler,
Wheeler was not the player he is now. Kessel was not the player he is now. So they got rid of these guys before they hit their peaks.
But the problem was all those guys they got rid of didn't fit the Boston mold at the time. So that's why this article, no offense to you finding it, no offense to the person who wrote it. I just thought it was interesting. It's kind of a pointless article because the reason why these guys left were they didn't fit the mold of Boston. Now,
it was written by the Hockey News. So.
Okay, but Hockey News is awesome.
The one thing that I could say is, if you're going to criticize moves, not maybe that Boston has done, not maybe Toronto, let's criticize the fact that Ottawa gave up Zdeno Chara and kept Wade Redden and Chris Phillips, and then gave Wade Redden after
bad moves. You're going to call them out.
It's going to happen.
They made moves to bring in their guys.
And they won a cup.
Here's my counter-argument. It was just going to be Stanley Cup 2011. They got it. They won.
They got the Stanley Cup, and none of those guys that you listed have a cup.
I think the reason that whoever wrote this
article... Except for Sagan. But none of those guys have had a cup.
I think that the reason that whoever wrote this article wrote it is just to point out the fact that essentially they traded away their 4 best players. Statistically.
Right now, but that's like...
I know.
I wish I had a crystal ball.
I'm not agreeing with this article. I just want to see what you guys said.
Yeah.
I like it. It's interesting.
I think it's an interesting article.
They also apparently, in 2007, when they traded for Andrew Ference, the pick they sent to Calgary was TJ Brody.
TJ Brody took a long-ass time to
develop.
And I mean, you can say that about any team, really. I mean, the Jets...
Talk about how...
The Jets traded their pick to San Jose. They drafted Setaguchi, scored 31 goals. We eventually got him back, and he fucking sucked.
Well, you could talk about how the Veska Toskala trade turned into Lars Eller or even Logan Couture for that matter. If you follow, there's just you could follow trade trails. And
we talked about that on a podcast a way long ago. About you could make an NHL team quite a good NHL team with the moves that Toronto traded away.
Yeah,
that team was good too. They were pretty solid. Go ahead.
The other interesting fact is that the league is once again talking expansion talk. Well, they wouldn't necessarily say they're expanding. However, it seems that prospective owner in Las Vegas is going to do a season ticket drive to see if there's market potential there. What are your thoughts on that?
The fact that the NHL allowed them to do it, I'm I'm not going to read into it too much because it's years away, but that's more than Bettman's ever been willing to do. He's never been willing to do that.
He wants to go in
He
that
didn't
market.
let us do that until we had the team.
And then he threatened us. He's like, if
You better buy the
if
tickets.
the-
You
if
know,
the-
I'm just
he's like,
saying,
hey, cameraman, zoom in, get real.
If
He's
the
like
building
breathing so it
isn't
falls
sold out
out.
every night, meh.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
better
they
have
know
a
what-
hot dog in
It,
there.
and honestly, it's probably going to happen.
Hey, don't you dare. He brought the team
Yeah, no,
back.
we
He
did.
also took him away.
Watch your mouth.
Go.
Yeah.
So,
It,
Say the same about Greg Zeller. He's in the
it's probably going to happen. Like
That's our premier.
okay.
Wow.
That's great.
Politics.
It's probably going to happen,
I
but
do.
hey,
Yeah.
that's okay. Jonathan Bernay doesn't know who Nelson Mandela is.
Yeah, I was gonna mention
He
that.
Really?
thought he was a famous athlete.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? It's talking about
You, sir,
But
are
I
an
wanted
idiot.
stuff
to-
that hurts. Corey Perry out 3 to 4 weeks. Knee
I know.
Okay, but
My
we're
fantasy
still
team-
wanted to
Travis
talk about
Hamonic.
My freaking
why are
fantasy
we the
team.
fuck moving past this Vegas talk? Because there's still more to be talked about, considering
Like
the
what?
fact that Biz Nasty went on the Jay and Dan podcast and he said,
He's
I hope
an
there's
idiot.
expansion.
First off, let's clear
Hope
that.
there's
I hate
expansion because people like me will have jobs. This is a stupid move by the NHL.
We've
It is
talked about this,
ridiculous.
yeah. It's going to
Dilute
flood the
the-
market.
Vegas
Dilute
will
the
fail
skill
as
of it.
miserably or worse than Phoenix. Or
I don't know if
Arizona.
it'll fail.
Oh,
I think
I don't
it
know
will.
if it'll fail.
I think it will.
I just think the NHL will fail as a whole, and we'll see contraction. The fact that they're going in Las Vegas before even thinking about Kansas City, Seattle, or Quebec, the fact that
Taking
they're
away teams or just moving them?
yeah, it makes
They'll
zero
probably add
sense.
to.
I think the smarter move here is to move Florida or Phoenix to Vegas. Most likely Phoenix because it just makes more sense. Or I guess you can move Florida. Actually, that makes most sense. And you have 15 and 15.
Florida, I would probably pick to move there first, although they just got new owners. So
Yeah.
But they're getting 3,000 people a game.
they're committing though. They're committed. They're at least on a plan.
It-
and back to that
yeah.
business, it will dilute. We talk about like, oh yeah, business will have a job if they're expanding. And on top of that, how are they gonna? Okay, I was talking to a friend of mine. He was saying that when they make the schedule, the NHL schedule, who is team one? Who do they do team one? Who would be the first priority number one?
Toronto.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Of course.
Last year,
According to the media, Toronto Center. Of the
well,
universe.
no,
I don't
because
think
Hockey
it is.
Night in
It's
Canada.
because it's the biggest hockey market.
In Canada.
Probably
North
in the
America,
world.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm
Probably
totally
in the
fine
world.
with that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, number one is that. Number two, if they're making, would have to be Las Vegas. Because Las Vegas, who's going to
So
go?
busy.
Who's going to go to a game that isn't on a weekend? Like,
Everyone that goes there.
no, I mean like, okay, so you're going to say it doesn't matter when their games are, you're going to go?
Okay,
Your
I'm
bigger
gonna say,
market would be
here's
Thursday
the
this
thing.
Monday.
but their goal isn't to attract. See, everyone thought, oh, they're going to go to Phoenix. They're going to attract tourists. Tourists don't go to games in Phoenix because it's so far outside the tourist area. The same thing will happen with this Vegas arena. It's so far outside the tourist
Oh, it's
area.
outside?
It's
like how far?
In the city of Las Vegas. It'll be inside. It's not going to be near
Where's
the strip.
Vegas? I haven't been.
It's in
In the middle of the desert.
Nevada.
It's in the middle of the desert.
Okay, and where's the strip as opposed to Vegas?
Okay, so
The strip
the
is
strip is like. Okay, so you have the main city of Las Vegas, which is where all their houses are and everything like that, and then probably, let's say, from here to the MTS Center away, well, probably further, like the north end is where the strip is. Like it's a 20-minute drive at least, and it's gonna be tough. You go to Vegas to spend money, but the thing is unless there's stuff included, like a free limo ride or whatever, it's gonna be
Convenience,
it's gonna be a $40 to $45 taxi ride to go to the game, where tickets are already gonna cost you $60, $70, and it's gonna
right,
it's gonna
probably more than
depend on the actual residents. So no will not matter when the games are in Vegas because it's not. They cannot rely on a tourist market because I don't think the tourist market is what.
And to have
is
a
gonna-
viable
And that's exactly. Oh, sorry, but there was one of the main sports writers. I don't know. He's from Vegas.
Yeah,
he,
that's fine.
he essentially just said, Vegas. They don't rely on the people that live in Las Vegas to go to, like, if they have UFC or they have boxing. It's not people that live there that go there. It's people that are traveling there
Making a trip
to
out.
go to an event.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
It's one event. You have 45 hockey games a year. Are people going to travel there 45 times a year to go to all of them? No. Like,
It's too tough.
yeah, I don't see it working.
There's a reason why
Maybe
the
for a
NFL, the NBA, not baseball as much, but
No one's
the
gone
NFL,
there.
no one's gone there. There's a reason. MLS even. There's a reason. I think this is a dumb move for the NHL. And I think if they're going to expand, we're going to see 30 teams again in 5 years and drastic losses. I think, and I read another tweet saying this might be Bettman covering his ass because finances in the NHL are actually lower than he is letting on to believe.
Are you saying back to the season ticket drive to see if it could work?
No, I'm saying that the NHL is in greater peril financially than what we understand it to be. So he's using this expansion talk or this expansion as a way to fund these losing teams in these losing markets instead of, maybe fixing losing markets. Because he's so headstrong about keeping teams in dying markets. That Dallas game was so poorly attended.
Oh, it's terrible.
There's so many markets that don't need NHL teams.
Yeah.
And you cannot rely on your top revenue makers that heavily, and that's what they do.
Shouldn't Winnipeg be an example of relocation working? They moved a team here that they paid $150 million for that has more than doubled in value. It's tripled in value.
400 million.
Yeah, it's tripled in value in 3 years. You moved it to a quote unquote small market. And it's one of the more. It's the only reason that we're the 18th most valuable franchise in the NHL. And the only reason we're that low is because it's only been here for 2 or 3 years.
And because our arena had 2 ticket sales and whatnot.
It's tripled its value in 3 years.
Yeah.
So should you not take some of your Florida, Columbus, Carolina, Dallas, the Islanders? I mean, I understand that they're
the Islanders.
do good. They're a good team. They don't get fans. You can move them.
I don't think you can move New York.
Yeah.
You got to be the Sunbelt teams if you're moving them.
If you're moving anyone, it's the teams in
Carolina, Columbus, Florida, Phoenix.
And you're not going to move a team that just got sold to move into a new arena.
Yeah, so Florida won't work.
Florida won't. Carolina, Columbus, and I guess Phoenix doesn't work either.
Columbus is okay.
They don't get fans. They don't.
I know, but
they're a good team. They
finally clicking in terms of they got it right. The GM and everything. Maybe they won't clean house. I don't know, but
they're a good team. They just they don't get fans.
But to have a viable NHL market, because they were talking, I read this. They were talking about what if they bring in a second Toronto team? To have a viable market, you need 300,000 hockey fans in that area, and 90,000 of them need to be Winnipeggers in terms of
we need to be intense.
Even real commit. But even on what you said about use Winnipeg as an option. Well, Greg, you're in business school right now. The only reason short term, it looks great for Winnipeg in the NHL, what we're doing. But in 10 years, is it still going to be like that?
No, the problem right now, obviously, is we got to look at the dollar. Mm-hmm. And the dollar is just turning to shits.
Canadian, right?
Yeah, and we could actually be hitting an economic downturn again and actually potentially going into another recession as both U.S. and Canada markets are going low, especially with oil prices dropping, and that's one of the biggest things that drives our economy. Now, will this mean peril for our NHL market or for the Jets? I don't think so because we have one of the richest owners. The only thing that could halt us in the future will be a building. I think that will be the only thing that, and it's about I don't think we have any worries as long as Chipman and Thompson are our leaders, are our owners. But let's say 25, 30 years down the road, if they're not owning the team or running the team anymore or running True North, who technically owns the Jets, I'm worried about the way they're going to run the team. I think we're going to have NHL hockey for 20 years unless something drastic happens with our dollar or with just the economy in general or with Winnipeg in general. But after that, it'll be all up to what the new owners do. I think a lot of what happens with an NHL team is how strong the owners are and how strong the market is. And the crazy thing about Winnipeg, though, is Winnipeg is growing exponentially. However, if the market downturns because of where we are situated, we get the least amount of ramifications. So our market and our economy in Winnipeg will actually stay pretty strong, and our job loss will be relatively low. But the biggest thing is our dollar can't keep plummeting because that's when businesses do start to see drastic losses. So I think it's all relative. Everything is relative to
of course.
So if gas price it's just I don't want to get into it because we probably talk about it and really bore people. Essentially, simple word, the owners control the fate of the team. Period.
And Chipman will run that team until he dies.
Yeah.
He's too loyal to the city, and I think Thompson is too loyal to the city for if Chipman for whatever reason, stepped aside, he would. I don't know if he would step in, but he would make sure the team is in good hands.
He looks so
Now,
David Thompson.
I mean,
about somebody who also has dedication. Let's talk about Jean Béliveau and what Montreal did for him.
first
which was just-
non-sellout in how long?
383 games.
383 games, and no one
I
will
thought it
sit
was
in that
going to
seat
be
again.
longer than that. It seemed like they was.
But remember
no,
the year?
that's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have. I don't think that seat is ever going to get sold again. I think that is just his seat forever.
Did he sit in that seat? Is that what they did?
I don't know if you're a Montreal fan and you know.
Yeah,
let me know.
us know. That, I
They
I
have-
think so.
That's 9 years since they didn't sell it.
Oh, never mind. So that's a lot more than I thought it was. Okay. Yeah. Whoa. Okay.
So that's crazy that they decided to, be like, hey,
It's Sean
that's
Beliveau.
awesome.
It's
yeah,
huge.
no, I know
awesome.
it's absolutely gigantic. Played
Is he
21
one of-
years, won 21 10 cups as a player, 17 in total.
I talked to a gentleman who I just ran into him. He was saying that John Beliveau lost as well. Obviously, went to Stanley Cup Finals. He lost 2 Game 7s as a player.
Wow.
He could have 12 rings. Whoa.
That would have been nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean,
Is he the first player to ever have his funeral at said arena?
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
what about
don't know if it's the
Rocker
first.
Richard?
I
Is
don't
he there?
think so.
Richard did,
I
I'm
think
pretty sure.
Probably at the Forum, not at the Bell
Yeah.
Center.
First at the Bell Center.
Oh, no, but
first
yeah, I'm saying-
first ever. No,
First,
No, not first ever.
Not that I
But
can remember.
I'm sorry, one of the most heartbreaking and one of the most touching things was
his
seeing
wife.
Guy Lafleur on his knees
Oh yeah,
in front
That's
of the
brutal.
casket, and he's just like, and it's a shocking moment, but it's
Well, yeah, because
crazy.
it's like his friend is gone.
It was very,
I
very,
don't-
very classy. Very.
Oh,
Yeah, and I'm sorry to miss
Bar
Beliveau.
From a
I
city.
didn't know who you were, and I was like, "Who the hell is this?" lady?
The other thing too is like, I'll get to a tweet that I read, but as I'm on the Twitters a lot more because I'm so bored with studying, it's ridiculous.
That's fine.
But
the Twitters.
Guys,
the Jets game's on.
I don't care at this point.
Hold on.
Everybody that spoke at his funeral, they all pretty much had the same, I guess, sense about him. That
the
he was a
nicest
great
person
man.
ever.
Yeah. He's what everyone wishes they could be.
Yeah,
Like
and he was that guy.
so many Habs alumni, current Habs players were all there. The amount of outpouring of the community was just incredible.
And the Habs players vowing to at least try and uphold what he created.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
The legacy that's left behind. Now, obviously, I read a tweet and it made me chuckle a little bit. It'd be like one of the classiest. Hold on.
Sorry.
One of the classiest presentations ever done by any organization was this whole service,
okay,
right?
thought, yeah.
Was what he was referring to. He said, if this was MLSC, they'd be pissed off that they couldn't sell that seat. And they'd be losing all the money on that.
I don't know if they're that gutless. Come on
I don't think
now.
they are, but it did kind of make me like...
For the record, I wasn't going at what Greg was saying. I'm just watching the goal that Bobby Ryan scored tonight, and holy shit.
Nice.
Yes.
Cal
Okay.
tweeted.
Now we all, obviously, to end the show, we have to hit hashtag 2015 McDavid Watch.
We do.
So we have to
Ooh,
hit...
I have the
while
standings.
you're doing that,
I have
okay.
them
Well,
right
while
here.
you're hitting that,
I have the
Yager-
standings right here.
Greg's got
I
it
have-
written down. I don't even do
George
anything.
Parros announces his retirement.
Yes.
Jaromir Jagr scores his 1,771st point in his 1500th game, assisted by none other than obviously Scott Gomez.
He had 2 points that night.
That's why they
He
re-signed him.
He passes Marcel Dion for 5th all-time in points.
Ridiculous.
He needs 26 points to catch Ron Francis. Guys, I only remember Ron Francis an old dude. Ron Francis was good.
He was
he
really
was
good for the
amazing.
Hartford Whalers. So good.
Yeah, I didn't.
Even for
yeah,
Carolina
I
for a while.
Didn't know that. Sorry. Hashtag McDavid Watch 2015.
Well,
Read 'em out.
actually, on that point, the fact that we're experiencing a guy passing some of the best players of all time is something that we should all bow our heads to because he is that good. Bottom 5 currently: Arizona, Columbus, Buffalo, Carolina, and Edmonton in that order. So 26th.
You know what I
26th
thought
is
about?
Arizona?
You know what I thought about the
Arizona,
other day?
Columbus, Buffalo, Carolina.
You know what I thought about the other day? Columbus, I understand that the reason they're doing so bad is because, their whole team's been hurt. But this might be a blessing for them. They tank this year. They get McDavid. They get all their guys back next year, plus McDavid.
You want pick 2.
You want Eichel.
You want Eichel for the American market.
That's
Yeah.
true, I guess.
And then here's the other thing, too, is this seems eerily similar to another team who had a really bad year one year and then came back and decided, oh, we're just going to be going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Montreal Canadiens.
Oh!
When they drafted Alex Galchenyuk. Because they tanked one year and they're like, oh yeah, now we're back in the playoffs.
Hey,
and now
I
we have
thought you
Galchenyuk.
were gonna...
The other thing is it also seems eerily similar to what happened with Vancouver because they had a bad year last year. They got Jake Virtanen, who's going to be a probably standalone NHL player.
Guys, he's going to score a highly real goal for Team Canada because he's making that team. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, no.
All right.
Are you going to keep going?
Say?
I want to join in on what you were saying. Teams tanking. And also, Columbus, how we possibly said relocation. Jack Eichel, hypothetically, they get him. What other team was on the verge of relocation, and then they got a certain Crosby.
Yeah.
Columbus!
Could be.
Gary Bettman. He moves in mysterious ways.
Currently, they are in 27th in the league, but that's beyond the point. What are you doing right now? I don't even know what you're...
Singing you too, guys.
I have a scary thought, guys.
Go, scary thought.
I have... Colorado is 5 points out of last, and Dallas is 6 points out of last. Could you imagine McDavid or Eichel on either of these teams?
No, I don't want to.
McDavid?
No, if
Here's the thing.
If McDavid were to go to Colorado, the Knights would live again.
And, he better get dropped at D, though. No,
here's the thing.
Fix your D, Colorado.
McDavid will not help either of those teams, because both those teams are piss poor defensively.
That's why you trade
They both need Eichel.
No,
if either of them could get Eichel...
You flip other assets.
No, you just flip assets.
McDavid is not going to make up for how bad those two teams are on defense.
No, but they don't need McDavid because they already have offensive guys. If anything, you flip it and you fix a team.
No, that's why I'm saying Eichel. You get Eichel.
He's a
defenseman, is he not?
See, I understand the whole...
Oh, then never mind. Fuck off.
That's a waste. Totally understand where you guys are coming from, but it's that whole draft best available. You're telling me...
Edmonton.
But not in Edmonton's case.
Not that crazy.
But if you were to get McDavid, why don't you flip... Okay, I just thought this hypothetically, and it is actually a potential... I could see it happening because both Cam and I noticed it. If Colorado were to draft McDavid, instead of losing out on McDavid, you could have McDavid, McKinnon, and Landeskog. You would be able to flip Ryan O'Reilly or Matt Duchene for something pretty decent defensively, and that would help your defensive core.
I'd flip both of them for two really good defensemen.
I don't think you could do that, because, yeah, sure, you got a good top three, but then you miss out on another guy to help out round out your top six.
I guess.
I don't think you could flip both. Now, we received an email, guys.
We did. Yeah, from 2 weeks ago, I suck at emails.
From 9 days ago.
Way to go.
Thank you, Brett, for writing in again.
Is this the Minnesota guy?
Yeah! He's our wild insider.
Nice.
He gets to see that flow.
Why does your entire team have mumps? Can you tell us that?
Why does half the league have mumps?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey guys, Brett here. Thought I would send an opinion/question. What do you guys think of the Wild play this year? How do you think they stack up against the Jets? I think the Wild are playing okay, but not cup hockey like the beginning of the season. The goaltending is really hit or miss and seems to drop at the third period of games. Also, the power play is really bad. It just really hurts when we can't score, even though we shoot 40-plus pucks at the net. Well, anyways, take care and great podcast. Oh, the sweet flow, Michael Granlund.
Woo! Right. Oh, that flow, baby. Well, to answer your question.
Well, Brad,
I can't really say much because the only Wild game I have watched is the third period of the Jets game when the Jets came back from three down. And
that answers this question. What happens in the third? What'd you notice to the Wild in the third period?
For me, that was more the Jets turning it on than the Wild collapsing. So I can't really say how good they are. I mean...
Did they win any board battles or anything that you noticed?
No, the Jets dominated that third period.
Okay, and what was that other question? But there's a few in there.
I just have to say, Brett, don't listen to Cam. Please don't listen to any of the things
that's sweet flow, baby. You joking?
Sweet flow.
Reading that
Sweet flow will never get you past...
I think I got strep throat back reading that.
Sweet flow will never get you past the second line.
Oh, that sweet flow is beautiful. You shake him out.
Okay, how do you think they stack up against the Jets? I think, personally...
Okay, healthy?
Good team.
Awesome.
Yeah. I think they're a better team than the Jets on par. I think they're a better team.
at playing their system than the Jets are for now.
But the thing is they aren't getting the consistent goaltending that they're getting last year from Josh Harding and Kemper or Brzgalov at the time. They're not getting that goaltending, and Vanek hasn't panned out to the way that he should be, scoring-wise.
Oh, what do you think of that contract? That's my question.
If you take, my opinion, you take the Wild, how they're playing this year, you take the Jets, how they're playing this year, I think it's an even
No, yeah, that's what we.
Well, that's-
exactly what. Yeah, pretty much what we
That's
said.
just that's my opinion.
But one thing I love about the Wild is that they'll play slow or they'll play speed. When they play open up hockey, like against,
Colorado.
say, Edmonton or Colorado, man, they are entertaining.
They have it.
And El Nino, man, woo!
that
And
was
they signed great contracts too.
Yeah, they signed
Okay, whoa.
Niederreiter might be.
Right now
Backpedal
they
a
sign great contracts.
Honestly-
I don't know if I would have done that Suter contract, but whatever.
Niederreiter is probably
Or the Parise one.
Well, yeah, but
Niederreiter's probably the best contract deal that they've made.
until they
better than
obviously
Parise,
until they
better
extend
than
all that
Suter.
flow, baby. Until they extend.
Now,
it.
They
here's
still
the other
don't
thing.
have goaltending. I would agree with what Brett said. Their goaltending is
Hit or miss. Kind of like what the Jets was for years. So
They'll figure it
the
out.
thing is you're saying we shoot 40 plus pucks at the net and don't seem to score. That is an unsustainable, and
They will go
you see
in.
it. They will eventually start going in. These high shooting percentages are unsustainable. You look at some of the top teams in the league, like Calgary right now. Their shooting percentages are out of this world, and they shouldn't be. And if your shooting percentages are lower, they're going to move up to league average by the end of the year. So you're going to see some more trending because it still is some of that early season stuff. And you're going to see everything start trending back to the norm. As we saw last year with Toronto falling off that cliff, everything just starts trending back to the norm. And as we're seeing this year with Colorado, it's trending back to the norm. And that's what's going on with Dallas as well. They're trending back to, if you don't play good possessional hockey, you're not going to win a lot of hockey games.
Nope.
And it's that
And-
simple.
For him, I would say. I mean, look at the Jets. First month and a half of the season, they were like there were some games that they won because of their goaltending. Like, and they've the last while, the pucks are going in. They're kind of learning how to score. So Minnesota will turn it around. They have too much talent to not put the puck in the net.
Yeah, they're just, oh my goodness. There's one game they were playing Chicago about a month ago. They put on like 48 shots. But that was, I talked about it because that was also the first time
the other
they
night
put
they
on
came back from 4-1 in the third period and won against the Islanders.
Dang!
So-
But that was also the game they lost Keith Ballard.
Yeah.
To a broken face.
Vicious.
Yeah.
Did Matt
Yeah.
Martin get suspended for that?
No.
It wasn't a dirty
clean
hit.
It was a clean hit. It was just location.
Ballard
It was
tried
like
to get out of the way and put himself in
Oh!
the worst position
Oh!
ever.
I gotta watch a highlight.
I guess to close out, thanks for the comment, Brett.
Yeah,
if you guys
thank you.
would
That's
like
awesome.
to email us as well, just pop it in.
We'll
at,
check them, I promise. That was my job. I done drop. You hear that? That's a ball. Dropped.
Look at that.
Hey, Brett, if you ever do go to Wild Game or anything, can you get me a picture of Mikhail Granley and how beautiful he is? Or just like write an email about just describing how beautiful he is in real person in RL. I've never seen him live.
Wait, are you good at drawings, Brett? Could you draw Cam a picture?
Yeah! Yeah! Brett, email us your mailing address. We're getting you a picture. Don't go,
Christmas card! Christmas card!
Yeah!
You guys better get hurt. It's like 2 weeks.
We'll get there. It's mail. Don't worry.
Hey, it's okay.
We're driving
It's
there.
international.
Hey, guys,
mail.
remember, Christmas isn't diversification enough. It's a winter card. It's a holiday card.
A holiday
Oh,
card.
holiday, right.
So we're
You
still
have to be
safe by a couple
You
weeks.
have to be culturally sensitive.
Yes. They're no longer winter concert, or they're no longer Christmas concerts, they're winter concerts.
Are they really
Yes.
now? That's ridiculous.
Yes.
Hey, that's a question for Brett, too, because I'm assuming you're American if you live there. Did they...
Hey, do you live in the States? You're probably American.
Did you...
Cam,
Hey, how are those deep fried cheese curds?
Nothing gets
So-
by Cam.
Yeah. In school, did they make you, say...
The Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge of Allegiance? Is that still a
Probably.
thing, or did they
I think
Shanna
so.
ban that?
It's probably how we do Canada.
They don't
they
do it.
did.
They stopped that in high school, didn't they?
Did
Yeah,
they?
but
I didn't
No,
have
they
it in my
didn't.
grade.
Did we have
In
it?
my
Yeah,
grade,
you went,
I didn't.
You went to a French school.
Yeah, because we're better than you guys. I just want you to know
Whoa.
that. Yeah.
Racist.
Well then.
Okay, are we closing
see how
out on
that
that?
Wow.
There we go.
This is the problem with Montreal Canadiens fans. They all think they're better than us.
We are
because they're-
better than you.
They are the snobbiest fans in the league.
We're done.
Actually, they have the classiest franchise in the league.
Yeah.
Classiest franchise, snobbiest fans. I will agree with you. They booed the American national anthem.
But
Who?
they still showed
Okay, if we're
class for their
talking
fallen
class,
hero.
guys, Philadelphia boos Santa Claus.
That's true.
The city.
And Winnipeg has some pretty unclassy fans. At the same
Everybody
time.
has unclassy fans.
What
Yeah.
if it's 11-year-old?
You don't even know what's out there.
11-year-old.
You don't know what's out
11-year-old
there.
New York Islanders. I'll
Do you-
tweet that link.
Do you read every newspaper, every NHL city to see what happens? No.
Yeah, well, that one made national news. All right, closing out. Last words.
Go Nashville Predators.
Go Jets, go. Fuck.
We will habitano Montreal, eh?